Welcome back. If you still have gifts to get, and they're for a UConn fan, well, we have just the man who can help you out. One of my favorite guests, Kyle Muncy, is the Director of Brand Partnerships and Trademark Management for UConn. He's here with a bunch of items, and a bunch of items that you should be able to get in time to wrap them up and have them under the tree.
Yeah, you might have to get in your car a little bit and try, I think everybody, any UConn fan, and there's a lot of them in Connecticut, should make a pilgrimage to the UConn bookstore and stores any chance they get. And but we've got some great items that, whether it's our newest Jonathan children's book, The Lucky Husky, or we've got the Jonathan calendar. We've got.
Well, let's go through some of the things, because we've got a nice little display out here. So if people are watching on this Sunday morning and they're thinking, I got to get in the car right now, obviously the bookstore is where to go. Head to campus, if nothing else. But let's start with these two things here. So we have the Jonathan calendar, which has been around for a while.
It has, yeah. It's been a number of years. What we've tried to do is support the team on campus that manages Jonathan and his family. And so supporting Jonathan, the Lucky Husky, as a children's book is part of that as well. So trying to do things that we can. We know the time and the expense that it takes for Jonathan, our four-legged mascot, or our two-legged mascot costumed, or the cheer and dance teams. So putting together some things that are trying to generate a little bit of interest and a little bit of revenue for those programs as well is something that's really helped.
And the Lucky Husky book is a UConn alum who's been a big success and is now doing this.
Yeah, Bethany O'Brien's, she's fantastic, and she's a UConn alum. She's a big UConn fan. Her husband's a big UConn fan, and they've really been. She's been getting after it. She's in libraries. She's in doing school assemblies with 500 students in them. We've sold a lot of books so far, and as I said, it's all going to a great cause.
So bookstore for both of those items.
Absolutely, and you can find the Lucky Husky on Amazon as well. So you definitely can pick it up that way here. If you're in a pinch, you might be able to get it in 2 days.
All right, perfect. What do you want to do next? The hats?
Yeah, the hats are a new licensee of UConn, and that's Branded Bills, and it's a brand that a lot of folks might be aware of. And really one of the things with Branded Bills is the finishing is this rubberized patch. So it's no embroidery, there's no stitching. The finishing on it is just fantastic. They've got a great style and look of different hats, and you'll see across some of the other hats, one of the things that's really come in fashion this year that we're dealing with a lot across, whether it's headwear or other apparel, is non-school color. Not everybody wants to dress like a coach. Not everybody wants to be wearing navy blue or white.
Still support the squad.
They want to support the squad. They want to have stuff that they could wear out on the golf course. They want to have stuff they can wear in different settings. And so it's nice to be able to lean into some of those things. I tell the companies we work with, I'm just about open to any color except orange, because we can't have any orange, but for obvious reasons. But any other color, there's some companies doing some really good stuff out there.
So you can match it, coordinate it with whatever outfit, and you can check those out.
Absolutely.
And those are also bookstore items?
But there's a couple styles in the bookstore, and if you go to brandedbills.com, you can find a full assortment of UConn offering that have not just the Husky logo. They've got UConn basketball patches. They've got Huskies in script. They've got all sorts of different stuff. So really good stuff.
You mentioned wearing those hats on the golf course. I know the next thing down here, we got some golf shirts.
Yeah, our longtime partner in Nike has done a great job this year. They really stepped up, whether it's something like this or the polos. They've really created some items that are some good golf wear, good outerwear that, again, not stuff that you would typically see. You're not going to see a polo like that on the sideline at football, or anything like this on the sideline at football or basketball. But being able to bring some golf course wear, some elevated styles that you could lean into is definitely made a nice difference, and available at the bookstore as well.
And that's the kind of thing. I mean, it could be a casual Friday at work. It could be on the golf course. If you're a UConn fan, that's a pretty versatile item. And if you're looking for a gift, go grab it.
Absolutely.
I think last time you were here, you were talking about the shoes, because that's a relatively new item to have some sneakers.
It's still, honestly, it's still weird to actually think we have shoes that we're selling on a day-to-day basis, whether that's at the games, in the bookstore, online. They've been on sale since about the middle of August. Everybody's still carrying decent inventory, so we've made it to Christmas and making it into the new year. And You know, I'd say they're sizing out a little bit in some of the sizes, but yeah, it's a great two different styles.
Yep.
So, and both of those are shoes. The blue shoe there, the Pegasus, is the exact shoe that the student athletes at UConn are wearing as sort of their everyday training shoe. And then the Air Max Verse, the white shoe there is administrators, coaches, same exact shoe. So, you know, so the UConn Athletics has those exact shoes. They've been on sale at retail. We're hoping and expecting that sales are going really well, and that we'll be in that program again. And you know, but in the meantime, I would say, you know, they're certainly still available, and I would grab them while the good sizes are still available there.
And that's the kind of thing. I mean, you said with some of the hats, maybe you want to not look like you're on the sidelines. You want to look like you're part of the group.
Yeah, that.
Those are the shoes to wear.
I mean, you wear those, you're thinking maybe you could sneak in the building. Yeah, exactly.
You have a sweatshirt back over here. This might be, you know, for a different person, a different generation. Maybe.
Absolutely. I think, you know, the thing that I certainly try to explain to a lot of our partners, and you know, and may be hard for some to grasp, but not everybody's a sports fan, right? So there's a lot of people that go to UConn that want to show off their school spirit or show off that they're an alum of the school. So Traditions Collegiate Apparel has came up with these designs. That's Wilbur Cross, which is our main building on campus, and you know, and they literally have them in blue, white, and red, and cannot keep them in the store. So I mean, they put them out, you know, 144 at a time in all three colors, and within 2 weeks they're gone. And so,
and it's a recognizable icon on campus, and support it without necessarily supporting the team.
It's 100%. It is that exact type of thing. Like, people are like, oh, this is a landmark. This is how I want to show my school spirit. And when I left the store this morning, the table was full of them.
And I think the last thing we have on the table we haven't talked about is the chocolate.
I mean, Munson's Chocolates is, for anybody in Connecticut, they're certainly familiar with it. They've got 8 or 9 locations around the state. They've been a long time partner and supporter of the university. And Jim Florence and the team there just do a fantastic job. It's probably the best stocking stuffer you could give a UConn fan, and they've got 4 different flavors, so you can go with nuts, you can go no nuts. You're good to go. You've got a wide variety there.
All right, so all stuff that you can get in the car, maybe get online and get. I just want to talk about some other big things that's happening. Rally House is one of them. This is a new partnership that UConn's doing. It's going to be a store in Manchester, but just going to maybe a bigger breadth of items. What's the excitement about that?
Yeah, I mean, we were in a position this year where our current partner that does our online store and does the sales at a stadium and arena, the contract was coming up. So we went out to market. Rally House is a partner that has been in the collegiate space, started family-owned business, started in Kansas City, is just blown up, and they're going to be coming starting July 1st officially. They've already soft launched. I know you're one of their customers. They've soft launched a site of UConn product. You know, I anticipate, we're certainly hopeful, could be mid to late February, but certainly by March, that we'll have a brick and mortar location in Manchester that, you know, will be what I hope is, in addition to the bookstore, a great home base for fans to celebrate a couple championships in the spring.
And if people haven't seen it yet, there was the popular Jonathan golfing hats that you couldn't keep in stock.
Yep.
Now it's Jonathan doing all sorts of things, and that all sorts of things is going to continue to expand.
We've got Jonathan sport caricatures, and we've got Jonathan doing a lot of things. He's, you know, we have him as a firefighter, we have him as a police officer, we have him as a doctor, as a chef. So just any, you know, again, as I said, I think it's easy to sit back and say, let's just slap the Husky logo on a product and try to sell it. But, you know, the fans come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, and they come up with a lot of different tastes. And I think the Jonathan caricature, as you said, the golf caricature was wildly popular. Having it now for all sports, and starting to just sort of slowly roll it out. And that is a really good example. We rolled it out in non-school color, just sort of a different thing, like a fan gear thing. But, you know, if you're coming to the game, you know, we want to give you some options that you can wear a lot of different things to show off.
So we're all out of time. We haven't talked about the blue retro jerseys that everybody's dying to get. We haven't talked about how UConn was #1 in the nation in NIL money. we're going to have you back because there's a lot more to talk about. Kyle Muncy, thank you for coming in. Some great ideas for gifts for your last-minute UConn gifts for fans in your life. We'll have you back next year to talk about the exciting stuff. Thanks for being with us.
Can't wait. Thanks.